All right, hey everyone. This is going to be a little review of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. So as you are working through the escape room today, if you need a refresher on any of the operations, you can come to this video and then just go to the operation that you need. So the first operation I'm going to do is adding decimals. Remember that for adding decimals, we need to line up the decimals. So I'm going to write 16.876 plus 11.291. These two numbers are nice because they already both have 3 decimal places, so everything kind of matches up the way that it's supposed to. So 6 plus 1 is 7, 9 plus 7 is 16, carry the 1, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, 6 plus 1 plus 1 is 8, and 1 plus 1 is 2, and then I'm going to bring down my decimal. So with adding decimals, the decimal should come straight down as part of your answer, so 28.167. For the second one, the first number has 2 decimal places and the second number has 3 decimal places. You're still going to line up the decimal, and then we can fill in the missing information after that. So I've got 12.38 plus 15.862, and I'm actually going to put a 0 at the end of 12.38 so that all my place values have a partner. So now I'm going to add. 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 6 is 14, carry the 1. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 1 is 12, carry the 1. My decimal comes straight down. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8, and 1 plus 1 is 2. That's adding decimals. Now I'm going to go to subtracting decimals. When I subtract decimals, same rules apply as addition. I need to line up the decimal places. So again, in number 1, I've got 3 decimal places in each number, so they will line up perfectly. So 58.937 minus 14.286. So 7 minus 6 is 1. I cannot do 3 minus 8, so I need to borrow from the 9, so 13 minus 8 is 5, 8 minus 2 is 6, bring the decimal down, 8 minus 4 is 4, and 5 minus 1 is also 4, so 44.651. In number 2, there's going to be a little bit more borrowing, and we also have to pay really close attention to our decimals being lined up. The decimal on 59 is at the end of the number, so this is 59 minus 21.375. So I have to add a decimal to 59 and then 3 zeros to match up. And then I can't do 0 minus 5 or 0 minus 7 or 0 minus 3, so I do have to borrow, and I'm going to borrow several times in a row. So borrow from the 9 to make this a 10. I'm going to borrow from the 10 to make this a 10. I'm going to borrow from this 10 to make it a 10 at the end. And then I can subtract. So 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 7 is 2, 9 minus 3 is 6, bring down the decimal, 8 minus 1 is 7, and 5 minus 2 is 3. Our third operation is multiplying decimals. Remember that with multiplying decimals, the most important part is getting the correct number of decimal places after you have multiplied. So I'm going to count the number of decimal places in each number. So 21.38 has 2 decimal places. 4.6 has 1 decimal place. So my answer has to have 3. Okay. So now I'm going to multiply 2138 times 46, ignoring the decimals, and then I'm going to put the decimals back in later. So 6 times 8 is 48, carry the 4. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 is 22. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12. Now I'm going to move over a decimal place, I'm going to move over a place value, so I'm going to put a 0. 4 times 8 is 32, carry the 3 this time. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 4 times 2 is 8. After I'm done multiplying, I'm going to add. So 8 plus 0 is 8, 2 plus 2 is 4, 8 plus 5 is 13, carry the 1. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 is 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9. And now I'm going to bring back in these 3 decimal places. So I've got a decimal at the end here. I'm going to move it in 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So this answer is actually 98.348. Perfect. Number 2, I'm going to do the same thing, but there's a lot more decimal places to move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one has 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to have 8 decimal places altogether. Now I can multiply 175, that's ugly, 175 times 18. 8 times 5 is 40, carry the 4. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 4 is 60, carry the 6. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 6 is 14. Move over a decimal place, or place value. 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 1 is 1. And I add. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 5 is 5, 4 plus 7 is 11, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And now I'm going to add my decimal back in. So I've got to move it 8 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in all those open spaces, I'm going to put a 0. So I've got 4 open spaces, so there should be 4 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 5, 0. And that is multiplying decimals. The last one is dividing decimals. With dividing decimals, our most important thing is getting this to be a whole number. And however many times you move the decimal in the divisor, so the second number, you have to move it the same number of times in the first number. So here, if I move it twice, then here I have to move it twice. And my new division problem becomes 494 divided by 13. So now I can do my long division, and I'm not as worried about the decimal because I've already kind of taken care of it. There can still be a decimal in my answer, but it doesn't necessarily have to be right away. So 13 goes into 49 3 times, because 13 times 3 is 39. 49 minus 39 is 10. And I bring down the 4. 13 goes into 104 8 times. And I get my happy 0. So my answer here is 38. Number 2, I'm going to move the decimal 2 times to make it 11. So I'm going to make this move 2 times. So it's 1,023 divided by 11. So I'm going to set up my long division. I cannot go into 10, so I have to go into 102. 11 goes into 102 9 times, because it's 99. And when I subtract, I get 3. I'm going to bring the 3 down, and it goes in 3 times, and I get my happy 0. Okay, these answers did not have decimals in them, but they can have decimals in them. It's okay for that to happen. This was just a couple of quick examples to show you how to move the decimal in the second number and then do the same in the first number. Again, If you are working on the escape room and you're having trouble with one of these operations, please go to that point in the video. Good luck.